Hello and welcome to Couch 44 on Channel 44. My name is Laura Franklin and today I'm joined by the lovely Saara Lamberg, who is a Finnish-Australian filmmaker, writer, director, actor, producer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, so excited to be here.
Now, Saara, you had quite the extraordinary career. Where did it all begin for you?
I suppose it began as a 7-year-old little actor back in Finland.
Yeah.
So my mother used to be acting and sort of semi-professionally, and she took me along to rehearsals, and I was 7, so I was full of energy, so
yeah.
I was a little brat, very annoying, running around the place. So the director decided to put me in the play just to get rid of some of that energy, I guess, yeah. And it was Shakespeare of all things, and 7-year-old me did not understand a word of it because it's Shakespeare, it's very adult language, but I just remembered everyone's lines, so I became really useful as a prompter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was any good as an actor back then, but I was certainly useful for when people forgot their lines. So that was very first introduction, I guess, to acting, and it grew from there, and
yep.
I went on to being in various youth groups as an actor, and did some film work back then,
mm-hmm.
just short films.
As a teenager?
Yeah, so from 7 to,
yeah.
you know, forever, up until now, I've always acted in one way or another. First mainly stage work, and then more and more film.
Yeah.
And then went on to study radio and television production back mm-hmm. in Finland.
Wow.
And so learned, you know, the behind the scenes work, how to work with audio and camera and all of those things, and producing, and then went back to acting, studied an acting degree in England, and then came to Australia, where I started producing work and produced 5 short films mm-hmm. before I went on to making my first feature, Innuendo.
Wow, that's extraordinary. Would you say that all the travel, and I read somewhere that you even stopped, was it India, and did a yoga course, so in between traveling. Would you say that all that travel and experiences in those different countries, like to live in them and study in them and work in them, has inspired, I guess, some of the works that you've produced? Oh,
definitely, yeah. I think it's just helped me understand people better, mm-hmm. seeing people from different cultures, living in very, very different environments. Like, mm-hmm. I think it's just important, not just for a filmmaker, but for any human, to understand other humans.
Yeah.
And definitely for anyone who wants to tell stories, I think it's very important to have that kind of universal understanding of how human beings operate and how similar and different we are at the same time. I think it's definitely made me a better filmmaker, hopefully a better human.
And when you came to Australia, what was, I guess, one of the first works that you began working on when you got here? Did you begin with writing, or did you start with acting? When you came to Australia, how did you get involved with the filmmaking scene?
Yeah, so when I first entered the country, I became an artist in residence at Montsalvat Artist Colony, which is in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. So I lived there for the first year, pretty much, of being in Australia, and that was just, it's the oldest artist colony in Australia, and it's a beautiful setting in itself to be creating art. Plus, you meet lots of wonderful people. Yeah. So those were some of my first introductions to Australian artists, and I went on to work with Melbourne theatre company called Eagle's Nest Theatre. Okay. And as an actor, was involved in a play called Kossi by Louis Nora. Mm-hmm. And that was probably the first Australian production that I did, apart from my own artist in residency productions that I was filming in Montsalvat.
Yeah. What was it like being on, I guess, stage with Australian artists, and did you meet anyone in particular that really inspired you, or that you continue to work with at all? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I bring people with me from all projects that I work on. My favorite people, they follow me or I follow them, and I mean it's like this family that I create around myself, because original families on the other side of the world, and It's just important for me to have a friend family around me. So yeah, I surround myself with people from different projects, and yeah, there's still a couple of people that I work with from that very first production. Kevin D in particular, who's been on a couple of films that I've directed since, and yeah, a couple of other people too.
So going back to your work, what would you say is your proudest film that you have written and directed?
Hopefully the next one.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen that you've got one coming out and one still in post-production.
I guess what I mean by that is that I always want to be just making better work than I did before, and I would hope to be developing as an artist. And but in some ways, I guess the first one is always. My first feature was a big undertaking because I had no idea what I was doing. Having made short films before, of course, I sort of knew what I was doing, but feature is just such a different. It's a different ball game, and so many things that I just learned as I was doing it, and it's been received enormously well. Like, it went to avenues that I never imagined it would go to. It's been on national television. It's been on a lot of film festivals. We had cinema release for it. That was one of my dreams, to have a cinema release. So that was awesome that happened. And the kind of feedback that I've got from that film is also just, it's humbling, and it kind of shows me that it was worth doing, and all that heartache was worth it. So in some ways, innuendo is always going to be very important.
Yeah. So your film Innuendo, how many film festivals and awards did that win on its festival run? Yeah,
it's been on at least, I think, 10 festivals, and we won the Cinema Australia Award, Audience Award for it, and Fine Arts Film Festival in Los Angeles, we won the Best Film, and also in Milan, we won the Best Film.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Did you get to go to any of those festivals? Were you there for any of them?
I certainly did, and I decided, because Innuendo got into quite a few festivals around the world, interesting places like, America, a few places in Europe, New Caledonia. So I decided to film my next feature as I was on that journey.
Yeah.
So it's called The Lies We Tell Ourselves, and it's a comedy mockumentary about a filmmaker that travels to film festivals, screening her film.
Yeah, I love that.
I wonder who played the part.
Did you have someone follow you around with a camera, or was it like all kind of selfie? Vlogging style?
Yeah, unfortunately there wasn't really enough of a budget to take anyone with me, so it was pretty much me engaging people from the locations where I was, helping as cast and or crew, but sometimes it was just me operating everything. But yeah, we also went to Cannes Film Festival, where I was very lucky to show Innuendo, and quite a few people went with me there, so we did lots of filming there. That was quite exciting.
Yeah, that would have been very exciting. Well, I guess if you had any last advice just to give to any filmmakers out there, or people looking into the arts world, what do you suggest is their first steps?
I think what really helped me was going to lots of industry events, going to film festivals, going to talk events, listening to experts talk about their craft, and then constantly pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So when I went to those events, not only did I listen to them talking, but then afterwards I went and introduced myself, asked, is it okay to send you an email? Is it okay to call you? Can we have a coffee? Just getting to know people, and just getting as much information from all sorts of sources. And I certainly have experienced that when I went in with that open mind and friendly attitude. People were very willing to help me, and no one's got a lot of time, but they usually have a little bit of time, and I guess as a newcomer, just being very flexible with your own time. like if you ask for someone for a meeting, you take whatever they offer you.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't go, no, I can't make that because I've got my sister's birthday. No, you go. You tell your sister you're going to the birthday later. It's like I guess being humble as a newcomer, but also inquisitive.
Yeah.
Asking for help, accepting any help that you can get. Going to events, volunteering as much as possible.
Yeah.
Doing as many projects as you can, and again, whatever job on that film set or on that project that you're doing, it doesn't need to be exactly the thing that you want to be doing. It can be anything, just to be in that environment, experiencing it, learning from everyone. Just being open with people, making connections. I think being in film is constantly making connections, and I think that's a few things there. I'm sure there's a lot more.
There've been so many things, but I think that's wonderful, great first steps is making those connections and getting yourself out there. Well, thank you so much for coming on Couch 44. It's been lovely to have you and to hear all your adventures and journey as a filmmaker. That is a wrap for us today. Thank you for tuning in on Couch 44. My name is Laura Franklin. We hope to see you next time.
I started bow hunting with my dad, and then I wanted to pretty much become a better bow hunter, so I actually tried out and went to Victor Harbour Archery Club and started shooting for a bit. Just under 2 years I've been shooting now for. Mum and Dad are always there to support me whenever I'm shooting. Coming out to all my matches, Dad really is my coach. He's taught me everything from how to hold my bow, how to, pull through a shot. What was running through my head when I first won the Silver Quiver tournament was, it was just, I couldn't really believe I'd done it. And I was just, that's pretty much where I just wanted to step up my shooting to a higher level and just, push myself to be a better archer. Very common misconception about archery is that it's really dangerous. People are either really scared that they're gonna get shot and get hurt, but it's not like that at all. It's a really safe sport. I would definitely say just give it a go. Just do it. Just, even if you start with just like a stick and a string, just pretty much go outside, have a couple shots. If you feel like it, come down to a club and then just have fun with it, give it a go.
Let me think about it for a little bit longer. I'm not sure if I'm quite into you or just the things you do. Why don't you lay it on me, show me what you got? Oh, I think that your tattoos are hard and I wanna put my arms around you, but I think that you might get to know me too fast, too soon. About me than you do, and all your secrets too. Well, this is what you get when you're playing with fire. Can you run fast enough for this life? Oh, I've been running for a very long time now. I think Thank you.
You are here on Couch 44. My name is Demi.
And I'm Henry.
And today we are chatting with Hey Harriet.
Hello.
Now, for everyone who doesn't know, from left to right, introduce yourself, and also if one of you or all of you would like to tell us how you guys came to be.
Alex.
Heather. I am Georgie.
I'm Bryn.
I am Mitchell.
I'm still holding this, so I'll tell you how we came to be. I met Mitchell first at WOMAD, which was really nice. We were just dancing, getting some of that WOMAD vibe on. It was really cool. And I had no idea who he was. And then he turned up in my class on Monday at uni. So then I found out you were a drummer. And I was in the market for a drummer. So we are the OG people, and we had some other band members along the way. They got busy and other things happened, life and all that. And then this is the end product of Hey Harriet.
And so how has that gigging process been together, because you started with OG members and then new people have come along, so did it take a while to build that chemistry, or was it just naturally there?
It's been pretty naturally evolving, really. I mean, we worked really hard at the beginning just to get our sound right, but then it's pretty much just been bass players that keep leaving. I don't know, it's the curse of the bass player. But no, it's been really naturally evolving, because when one person's like, hey, getting too busy, got all this other stuff, then there's always another person who's ready to jump in. And it was really interesting, actually. We really wanted Heather to join the band. We're trying to think of a role for her anyway. And then that night, my old bass player called me. He's like, man, just getting too busy with life, and I'm in so many bands. And I was like, it's all good, man. Like, I've already got you sorted. So it worked out pretty well. I didn't have to fire him. So that's nice. I mean, I don't think I could have done it. I probably would have got Heather in on a ukulele or something.
Is that the same with the creative process? So whether you guys have written together or separately?
I'm pretty much just a control freak.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
I'm like the mama bear. I write the songs and then like, please play it this way. But these guys write all their own parts, and then I write the lyrics and the main melody, and then we kind of just jam together.
Now, in light of everything that's been happening over the last year, did lockdown and the godforsaken COVID make much of an impact on the creative process or gigging or anything
Mostly
about?
The gigs. We were just all forced to rest, which is kind of good for our bodies. Not so good for our mental health, because we're not out there being social and playing shows. We had some pretty awesome gigs lined up just before, like 2 weeks before, or 1 week before they called it with COVID, I think. A week after they called it with COVID, and it was like counting down, being like, oh, we're going to make it. A pretty big show, and then they just were like, nah, we're calling it, you're not going to play. And they cancelled the whole event. So that was pretty sad, but you just have to make your peace and think, well, we're lucky we're just still here. So it's all right. I did a lot of writing. Did you do lots of writing?
I made a, bedroom folk demo album. That was fun.
Sad COVID album.
And when do we get to hear that, Bryn?
I'll give it a plug. Yeah, that one's around on the internet. If you go to stewartavenue.bandcamp.com and look for demos 2016 to 2019.
That's it. You heard it here, folks.
We're all in a lot of bands.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Does it make, since you guys are in so many different bands, does that make it difficult to sort of like, divide your time up, especially with, each band comes with a creative idea. It's just like,
It's pretty chaotic. I honestly don't know how we manage it. Because we're all in so many projects, but it all kind of just works out. Except Mitchell's got it pretty good. He's just like, nope, not going to be in all these bands. One's enough for him. But yeah, we all keep it pretty busy. Somehow, I guess musicians just are weirdly organised. Like you would think we'd be really just chaos and not know what day of the week it is. But like when it's not COVID times, I could probably tell you what I'm doing 6 months in advance because people just like, what are you doing on November this date? And you just have to be like yes or no and then stick to it and honour your word. And it's like, well, said I play that gig, I'm playing that gig. So it fills up pretty quick, and that's how you end up just playing shows every second night. Yeah.
Whether it was with Hey Harriett or any of the other bands you guys are in, how did it feel to get back to that first gig after all the intensity of last year?
Yeah, pretty good. Do you guys want to say something about how good it was? I mean, it felt good for me.
It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like a relief, but also weird to be back with sitting down. Yeah, our first show was a sit-down gig, but it was awesome because my family came. They just sitting in a shinity. It's great, and we're just rocking out.
We did 2 hours as well.
Yeah, we played a 2-hour set, so we played a lot of old stuff and then a few covers and just made some things up on the spot. A lot of new stuff too, yeah. So that was really cool. It was like, welcome back, now we're tired. But so good to be back.
Is that the best part of the experience for all of you, or is writing more your passionate part?
I'm curious to know the answer to this.
Yeah, if you're happy to go around.
Performing's my favourite thing.
Probably playing. I mean, that's all I really do. It's fun hearing new songs and playing them. Yeah, just playing. That's all I do.
Yeah, I reckon playing as well, honestly. I feel like with this band, we, respect each other's space in terms of, like, no one's parts are treading on anyone else's parts, so there's heaps of room to just jump around and vibe out on stage. It's a great time, yeah.
Yeah, I think playing, but also sometimes rehearsing is really fun as well. Like when we play something new and it just first starts to like gel and you're like, oh my god, like this is going to sound really, really cool. And then you get excited about playing it in front of people.
Yeah, I love rocking out at the tambourine.
So you guys, like, a majority of you said, like playing live and everything, but like, what is it about playing live on stage in front of like a crowd and stuff that you just, love so much? Like, what is it? Is it, like you're playing something and you just don't care what people think of you, or?
I think it's the reaction from the audience. Like when I look up and see people dancing and smiling, that's all I've ever wanted to do, is to make people feel joy. So that's pretty cool, and our music's pretty positive, I guess. Like we get a lot of feedback, people just being like, oh man, your music just sounds like a good time. I'm like, yeah, that's what we were going for. So it's really cool to look down, and we play a lot of random gigs where there's children as well, like outdoor shows and stuff, and just to see these little kids with these smiles on their faces and just having a good old dance is just the most wonderful thing for me.
When I was like 6 or 7, at one of our primary school assemblies, I got to jump up on stage and run around with a plastic guitar for some reason, and I got so into it that I almost fell off the stage onto like all the little reception kids that were sitting right next to the front, and I've been chasing that high ever since.
I can definitely agree. The feel-good vibes radiate immediately to the crowd, and hopefully to the viewers at home, they felt the exact same. And for us wondering, any exciting projects coming up in the near future?
Yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff, a lot of new music, some sneaky recordings, coming out with some physical copies of sound for people, which is going to be good. We've got a really cool collaboration we're working on with an Adelaide venue that was hit pretty hard with COVID, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, hopefully just playing some more shows, and that's the dream. I mean, we really want a tour, but that's not really on the horizon right now, so we'll just see where the year takes us, I guess.
In the meantime, with all those very exciting projects coming up, where can we find out about it?
Yeah, probably Instagram. We're the most active there. But be careful. It's Hey Harriet with 2 R's and 2 T's, and autocorrect ain't our friend at all. But I refuse to give in to the big man. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Bandcamp's where we'll be posting all of the new exciting things that we're going to have on offer. So we're going to start using Bandcamp more because they support musicians a lot.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Hey Harriet. And thank you guys for joining us today on Couch 44. Make sure you check out Hey Harriet and Channel 44 on all the socials. But for now, we will see you next time.